Do you have pets with emotional issues? Are they skittish? Have fears that can't explain? They bark too much? Maybe they lick themselves too much. Hi, I'm Cora Naylor, a certified emotion code practitioner. Our pets often have issues that we can't explain, but we'd really like to help them. The good news is there are things we can do about it. And so I've invited my friend Holly Pitas to join us today. Holly and I are both certified emotion code practitioners, but Holly specializes more in working with animals. And I'll tell you why this is very timely today in a couple of minutes. But first, let's hear a little bit from Holly.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I am.
Yeah. Holly, where are you located, Holly? I'm just outside Vancouver, Canada. So it's kind of fun to let people know where we're calling from.
Yes, I'm in the US. I am most people know where Chicago is, and I'm about a 2-hour drive north of Chicago, just outside Madison, Wisconsin.
Nice.
Yes.
And
so if there are any Green Bay Packer fans or cheese fans, we're the dairy state. And if you ever watch a Packer football game or any of the Wisconsin games and you see people with these big old cheese hats.
Yeah. Yes.
That's me. I'm a cheese hat.
Definitely save those. I love cheese, but I don't eat a lot of it, but it is good. It's one of my favorites. I always tell people I could live on bread and cheese. I just choose not to.
Yeah.
So if people are wondering maybe a little bit about what we're going to be doing, it's something called the emotion code. So it's a process for releasing trapped emotions from past events. And if you're wondering where it came from Dr. Bradley Nelson. I'll hold up this book here. You can see there is a book, The Emotion Code. And if you're interested in learning more about it, I highly recommend reading the book, because once you do that, you can actually start doing some of this work on yourself or family and friends. And how did you get into the emotion code, Holly?
Pretty much just as you just described. I had heard about the emotion code. I have a friend who is a physical therapist, and she was talking a lot about, as a physical therapist, she knows that people have this component of trapped emotions, and that is what is causing pain and discomfort and difficulties in their bodies. And she also was talking about how she knows that people can have an injury from years ago. So maybe it's like, 20 years ago, they hurt their leg. And so now they're having new stress in their life. And sure enough, this leg is bothering them again. So, and I thought this would be something really complementary to her practice. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm not really interested in it. And I thought, well, okay, I'll read the book. And so I read it and I thought, oh my goodness, this is fascinating. And it's absolutely amazing for people that are watching that have had an emotion code session. But if you haven't, it's just this easy way to seriously just remove it. It's almost like taking an eraser and, erasing pencil marks. And so you can just feel relieved from, if you're having some sort of pain or discomfort or sleeplessness or a lot of it, whatever your stress go-to is, can just be removed.
Yeah, I know it's almost seems easy. And one of the things I really like about it is just that it's so non-invasive. We don't have to know your backstory, what happened to you in the past. In fact, it's actually better if we don't know anything, because then if something comes up, people are just like, how did you know that?
Yes. And so people might wonder, well, how do you know that? And we do use a chart. I have mine is not colored today, but this is something that is in the book also, that it's this, we know it as the chart of emotions.
Yep, I've got mine right here. That's the magnet version.
Yes. Yep. And sometimes, so we don't need to have you tell us the story, but sometimes through our questioning process, it will come up with an age. Mm-hmm. So we say, did this happen when you were 20, or does the year of being around 8 years old make a difference to you? And it's amazing how right on it is. And people are like, it does. Yes. And you don't need to tell us what it was that happened, but it, I think, is I'm not sure if I want to use the word validation, but it's like, oh yeah, that was the event that created the start of this trapped emotion.
Yeah, yeah. I just did one the other day with the lady with that food craving. So I do a lot of stuff around weight issues and food cravings, and she had one emotion, and I gave her an age, and she was just like, "Oh my God, I know exactly what that was."
Mhm.
So I got to check in with her and see how she was doing. And the cool thing is with this is you don't have to be together to do it. That's one of the things I love about this process as well. Often we can do them through Zoom or a phone call, or some people just by messenger or an email. It's super
Mhm.
easy.
Yeah, it is, as long as you, and I think people can understand that. You know how when you talk to a friend and they're telling you a very happy story or a very sad story, and you're feeling those emotions with them as they're telling their story, and it's that kind of a thing that it's like once we are connected and you have given us permission, we're able to just um, I guess uncover this the hidden message,
Yeah.
so it's this hidden emotion of sadness or anger. I know someone else that had been working with someone that was allergic to a certain food. I think it was like strawberries or something, and it turned out that she was eating a bowl of strawberries when she learned that her mother had passed away.
Mm,
So, that's exactly how we develop this trapped emotion, or maybe an aversion to a certain food. It can also work in the opposite, because Cora, I know you work with a lot of people with the food cravings and food issues, but you can be, um, you can also crave a certain food because of what was happening
so
around when you were eating it.
Oh, for sure. And I think, especially with food cravings, often it's stuff that happened to us when we were either in vitro or very young children. A lot of food issues because we were told so many things by our parents, and it just sticks into that subconscious mind. But today we're going to talk a little bit about pets because I told Holly a little bit about what happened this morning. I had a very disturbing event happen in my park. I live in an RV community and was going for my normal morning walk with my dog. And there was another dog that is not friendly with my dog ever and had escaped from his house and attacked my dog. And it was super scary for both of us. So Holly just happened to be coming on today. I was like, oh, thank goodness Holly's coming on today. I think my dog's going to be okay. I'm going to get her checked out, of course, at the vet, but I know she's got a couple of little puncture wounds and she's starting to limp along a little bit. So she's a little bit stiff. And so we can just go through the process and we'll continue telling you how the emotion code helps while Holly does some work on my doggy today. So one of the things that we need in order to help people is we need permission. So whether if it's an adult, we just need your permission. If we're working on your kids, we need permission from the parents, or if it's a pet, you need permission from the pet owner. And I definitely give Holly permission.
Permission, and then that allows me to work by proxy so that I am able to do the kinesthetic muscle testing on myself in order to get the answers for little Poppy. So that is Poppy's name. And before I actually connect with her, I want to make a point of something that I think is very important. And you said that you think she has some puncture wounds. So although I can work on some of the fears and things like that and help her with her healing from an emotional, energetic standpoint, having those wounds actually checked by an acute care veterinarian is something that's also very important.
Yes.
So, even if we're talking about, people and treating some sort of pain issue, it's like, don't stop seeing your medical doctor.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes there's emergency care and acute care for a reason.
For sure, for sure. And that's what I tell people. Oftentimes injuries are partly physical, partly emotional. So if you can at least release the emotional part, that can help your body to do the healing that it needs. And always, of course, check with your physician, vet, whatever we're doing. I just can't get there today. And I think she's okay, but I just want to double check, make sure. She's pretty furry, and she won't let me touch anything right now. So
Yeah. Oh,
And just before you get started, I just wanted to say, yeah, Rusty was just joining us. So thanks so much, Rusty. She's going to be sending this video along to her nephew for his chihuahuas.
Yeah, chihuahuas.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine has a little long-haired chihuahua named Chi-Chi, and she's the sweetest little thing. And I always feel very privileged because when I go to her house, she comes and sits on my lap. And so my friend Mary always says, "Oh, she never does that with anybody else."
Yeah.
So I always feel privileged. I'm going to take a little drink here.
Yep, me too. Just because I know it's not me you're working on, but
Yeah. Although I might. All right. So I'm going to ask permission. I'm using something called kinesthetic muscle testing. If an answer is yes, my fingers are very strong and I can't pull it through. And if the answer is no, it slips right through. So, all right. I'm going to just do this out loud. So is it okay for me to connect with Poppy? And I'm getting a yes. And so is it okay for us to do some emotional release for her? And again, a yes. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the event this morning of being attacked by this big dog. And so there's some emotions that we can release around this event. And I'm getting a yes. And so are they on the emotion code chart? Column A, column B, column A, is it an even row or an odd row? An even row 2, row 4, row 6, it's in row 2. Is there more than one emotion in there? Yes. And so row 2 has the emotions of anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness, and worry. So I'm getting, is it just the 4 emotions? Yes. So we're getting anxiety, despair, disgust, and worry. For some reason, she's not nervous, but that's okay.
Yeah, basically do them all.
Exactly. And so now, are these all your emotions, Poppy? Do they belong to anybody else? No. All right. So, and now I'm just going to go through and release them. Is there anything that's hidden? Is there? No. Okay. So I'm using magnets to just sort of intensify this energetic release. So releasing the anxiety, releasing the emotion of anxiety, and I'm going to release it backwards and forwards through all dimensions of time, releasing the emotion of despair, releasing the emotion of disgust, releasing the emotion of worry. And just in case, I will throw nervousness in there too. Because it comes in a whole block. And then I'm also going to release any type of vibrational resonance of these emotions. So releasing anxiety, despair, disgust, nervousness, and worry, and releasing the emotional resonance of them. And then I'm going to test and see if that worked. So did I release the emotions? Is there anything more to release for this? No. I'm getting a no. And so now, are there other issues concerning the event of this morning? And I'm getting a yes. And so are these your emotions? And is it something else on the emotion code chart? Is it something on what we call the trauma chart? I'm getting yes. And is it in column A, B, or C? Is there something in column A and in column C? So are these in the same row? Is it an even row? 2, 4, 6, so 2. So is it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and C1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, poor Poppy. She's got some stuff going on. So she has an emotion of worthless, and then she has all of column C, which is aggravation. And now this makes sense if you're attacked, right? Anger, rage, fury, and boiling mad. So, and I know that Poppy is a dachshund mix, and she was attacked by a much larger dog. So, terrible event. Okay, so now are all of these emotions yours, Poppy? Is there anything that's hidden or a heart wall? No. Okay, can I just release them all? Yes. So, releasing this emotion of worthless, releasing aggravation, anger, rage, fury, boiling mad, and releasing any type of compound connection of these. So worthless aggravation, anger, rage, fury.
Oh, we seem to have lost Holly right in the middle of things. I know sometimes she has problems with her internet, which is really unfortunate. I know she'll be continuing the work. So thank you so much, Holly, for joining me today. But just so you're aware, my dog's event was a little bit more traumatic today. It doesn't have to be anything big. Sometimes I know with my dog previously, I deleted the emotions around her fear of the vacuum cleaner. A lot of dogs are afraid of, machines that have going on, smoke detectors, that kind of thing. Also helped a friend with her horse in Colorado. So there's a lot of different things we can do. Oh, here she's coming back in, guys. Hang on. All right. Here she comes. Oh, oh, maybe not. Okay. All right. We're just going with the flow today. But thank you everyone for joining me. Hopefully we can get Holly back in here in a minute. And if not, I'll post a link in the comments of the show if you want to try and get in touch with her. If you want to more information from me, I mean, there's so many things that the emotion code is helpful with people or animals. It's like I'd say I specialize in doing a lot of stuff with any kind of food cravings or weight issues, because we have many blocks around how we eat food and are concerned about food. Are we eating too much? Do we have to clean our plate? Those kind of things that we were ingrained in when we were kids. Or negative self-talk. That's another one. Most of the stuff that our subconscious is telling us, it's just trying to protect us, but at the same time, it can stop us from moving forward. So if you want to get in touch with more information, reach out to me if you're seeing this video, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, or you can go to my website at CoraNaylor.com. So thanks so much for joining today, guys. I'll be back again next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's the new time of the show, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.